Hey guys, Metalhead Prime here. Just thought I'd do a quick video. I've seen in a chat or so that people were wanting to look for instructional videos on how to make bubble wall. I've made a few. Can't really see them. They're kind of all over. I'm going to make one for this 54-gallon bow front right there. And so this one's going to be kind of more advanced, but it's the same idea. Super cheap. I probably have $10 whole here that I've spent over the years because I just find 3/16 tubing and buy the crap out of it. So for this, all you're going to need measuring tape. You want to be somewhat close. You'll need a torch. You'll need, I'm going to use nails. I don't know how well you can see these. They're just tiny little nails. Just something with a sharp point that can take some heat because you're going to need it. A lighter for the torch if you don't have one of those fancy dancy ones. Snippers, pliers to hold your nail, scissors, and for this one, because it's going to be kind of oddball from a normal bubble wall, usually they're just straight and then you can heat it and bend it up and whatnot. This one's going to be a little different. This one's going to have to go span two corners there. So I've already taken the liberty to pre-mark the holes that I want. With this, I do have a canister filter on it, so I got to be mindful of my intake, and I'm going to space it out about every 6 inches. So let's get started here. So first things first, I'm going to take my nail and drop it, and it's somewhere. All right, I'll get it later. We'll just unbox another one. Alright. Now, I'm only using MAP gas because it's the only thing I had laying around. You can use regular propane, it's fine. Doesn't need to be full bore. That kind of wants to tip on the table, and I don't feel like setting everything on fire tonight. So, usually I will take electrical tape or something and kind of wrap around that to kind of hold that. Vice grips. I mean, there you go. I wasn't smart enough to do that. Oh, two other things you're going to need. I'm going to use the very ends of these zip lock ties, whatever you want to call them, because they plug these rubber hoses perfectly. And that way it'll stop the airflow at the ends of my bubble wall, and if all goes well, it'll actually work right. Probably not, but you know, nothing else has worked right the last few days. I don't know why I would expect it to now. Now what you want to try and do is get the tip of your nail or your needle or whatever you use, you want it to glow. I would hold it there, but you know, trying to do this too. And you just jab it through there. And then we'll go. I've only got to put a few holes in this, so it's not a major deal. I probably could have gotten more than one out of that. It's okay. And motion's at my front door. Who cares? I don't. And it's super simple, but you want to be careful that you don't jab all the way through your bubble wall. You just want to poke the top. Now once these holes are cool, I'm going to run back through with a cool nail and just punch the hole out so I know it's actually blown open. Now the person that gave me the idea for this one was Big Rich. I learned off of his video that he made it's been a while, and his bubble walls all work fantastically. Mine don't.
So who's this Big Rich you speak of?
It's that guy at Ohio Fish Rescue. Some of you might know him. Pretty cool guy. I might have met him once or twice. I think I'm gonna flip this around, and that's hot, by the way. You want to try and get as straight down as you can. So that's why I flipped it around, because it wasn't working. Admit it, you just wanted to see me burn myself. All right. Now, if you're not absolutely 100% perfect, they will work, they just won't look as good. You can, instead, I just did it the quick way, I just marked hash marks on there. You can mark like little X's to kind of tell you where center is, that helps. Probably going to have to go back through these. But all as far as getting ready to go live, so I figured I might try to get to knock a quick video out. Maybe it'll help a few people, maybe not. Just in case you're wanting to build one of these fancy dancy little walls. Now if it looks like I'm bumbling around, that's because I just got done working like 50 some odd hours this week. I plowed a lot of snow. And I've only fixed a couple cars, but they were fun. And yeah, my nerves are a little shot right now. So we're just gonna say what's in that koozie there is not pop. And if you all know me, you know already, I shouldn't have to say that. Now you can space these out any distances you want. Usually larger tanks you want to space out your holes a little better so you get better coverage. Smaller tanks you can get away with closer, but there and again you have to be mindful if you're running canisters and hang on the backs. Hang on the back filters will actually suck the bubbles in and it'll just be noisy. It might even stop some of them, some of the older kinds. So you just want to be mindful of your placement. Alright, so I've got all my holes punched in there. We can kill this now, hopefully. And I'm just going to set that down because it's wobbling around. Propane, who knew? Anyways, try to put that somewhere where it doesn't melt through anything. I'm actually going to need that. It's fine. Alright, so what I've got here, I actually took two pieces of this, and I need a 19-inch piece, and I hate that phone. I need a 19-inch piece and two 25-inch pieces. The 25-inch pieces obviously are going to be the ones at the bottom of the tank. Then I needed a 19-inch piece to run from my T to my bottom pieces to the top out to the air pump. Well, I didn't see the purpose of chopping up three pieces, so I'm just going to attach the two, which can be done very, very easily, and I'll show you how. Not like you don't already know this. Most of you are probably going, we know. It's just as simple. Now some of these hoses can be a little stubborn, and I'll show you a really, really cool trick. You know, you'll hear people talk about they go and get all sorts of grease or whatever put on. You want to know the real trick? Right here. And wow. And there we go. That will function the way I need it to. So that's my top piece. Now what I need to do is make two more of these, well, three actually, of these little guys. They don't have to be very long, they're just to connect. You can take your torch and actually bend this nylon tube. This is, again, this is 3/16. You got to be very careful when you're doing that. you can go too far too quick. So basically, what you want to do if you're going to bend it, you know, if you have your flame set low, you want to be just out of reach of that flame and just gently knead it, maybe set it in there a little bit and just knead it until you get it to where you want it. And it will work, you just got to have a little patience. Anyways, we'll tack these guys on. So if you're doing a, actually I'm going to do this differently. If you're doing a bow front like this, you're going to try the idea that I'm trying, you're going to be making one of these. And it should resemble something like that. Now, again, like when I did that one, that's just two of these, yeah, it's just two of these sections, and I actually bent them all the way around. So they actually hang on the rim of that tank too, which is handy. Those fish in there don't mess with it at all. I can't put it in my predator tank because I have the blood parrot and the Oscars, won't leave it alone. The flower horn leaves his alone. We're going to find out if they leave theirs alone. For the most part, I think the pleco in there is the only one that really digs at anything. Alright, enough rambling. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to connect. Being mindful, I know the last hole is right where I want to be. Alright. Now that can make the bend that I want it to make. Probably should have cut that a little longer. So that's going to have to be a pretty sharp angle. Well, we'll see. We'll run with it. Make sure when you're hooking these up, you want to make sure your holes are pointing up. That does matter. Mine are not. And when I say that, what I mean, obviously, is these holes that I punched into this line, I want them to be facing directly up. I might actually cut longer tubes on it. We'll just go a little longer so I can make that bend. That's okay. I've got like 9,000 feet of this too, so it doesn't really bother me. You can always use these shorties for patch ends. See, you never throw anything away. You might need it. And then you jam it all the way up there and you can't get it off. Makes it great. Alright. So I retract the previous statement. It should actually look something resembling this. Alright, let's try this again. One day I will have a blooper reel, and it'll be fantastic. Now you can super cheat and just lick the whole thing. I don't care. I put way worse than that in my mouth. Don't. Just don't. So, this is going to be the basic gist of it, because the way that bow front tank sets in, it kind of V's like this. So, the idea is I'm going to have the two outskirts like that, and then this little guy right here is just going to drop in. I'm going to hook my airline up to him, and after I get it buried in there, and we'll see how that goes. So there you go. It's just that easy. Oh, I guess I should get to the part where I brought these into play, huh? Mm-hmm. And see, it's a good thing I didn't throw these out because I'm going to use them. So what I'm going to do is just jab this whole end in there. I want to get it in there good because air will make its way out of anything. And it'll look something a little bit like that. And then I'm just going to take my snips here. And the great part is, even without this tip, these are still useful. They might actually work a little easier. But see, you can still use them. So don't throw these away, because you might need them for something. Jab that little guy in. Bam. And this is how I plug my ends off. Now when you're doing bubble walls like that, you can plug both ends in to your air pump. It doesn't always work very well like that, so it is handy to find a way to terminate an end. And there you have it. Quick, cheap, and easy bubble wall. Excuse me. Quick, cheap, and easy bubble wall. So once again, I give Big Rich more credit because this was his idea, and now I'm just modifying it to make it go in a metalhead tank. So there you have it. I'll take some video of it once I've got it up in there and running and see how it turns out. So I'll put that at the end of this. So the live stream's getting ready to come on, so stay metal. Alright guys, so here it is. Here is the finished product. Now it's a little cloudy because I had to stir it up obviously, and I changed the direction of that. Just made everybody pretty angry at me. One key thing that I didn't mention on the video of making that bubble wall, one thing I should have mentioned too was don't get discouraged if at first you plug it in and you have patchiness, like, you know, that side's blowing like crazy and this side's not. Once it gets all the air worked and kind of finds its own path, it'll take off. Sometimes it can take a little bit. Sometimes it goes right away. In my case, it never works out the way I want it to, and sometimes modifications have to be made. So instead of having one feed in, I now have two back here, as you can see there. So yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. But once that clears up, basically because I changed the air pump, I put a better one on it, moving around all that substrate, and I actually bumped my canister so it spit a bunch of yummy stuff out. Anyways, that'll clear right up. It'll be crystal clear again. Everybody will be happy, and they have a bubble wall now. So when it's clear, I will, I don't know, you'll see it in more videos. I do have another video coming real soon. In fact, within hours, hopefully, if I get the gumption to go back to the hardware store again. Yeah, don't ask. Anyways, there you have it. Quick, simple, easy bubble wall. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and stay metal.